You are now listening to Universally Controversial.
All right, guys, we are back with episode 7 of Universally Controversial. And today, I have my special guest, my boy Kyle. We're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories and why I don't believe in dinosaurs.
Let's go.
First, we're going to talk about my boy's his home garden and the project he's working on out here in California and how he's trying to spread the word about it. Go ahead and let him know about that.
For sure. So we call it the Jorde Homestead. It's spelled Jord, and it's based off the Old Norse word for earth. My wife and I are both of Swedish and Finnish descent and everything, so we felt like it was pretty in tune with our ancestry and everything. And then that's kind of what our mission is really to just take care of the earth. And I was raised a super conservative, climate change is a hoax and F the liberals, that kind of thing. And then started to go into school and basically found out that at the current rate that we are farming and the practices that we use right now, basically we have 60 years of farmable soil left, and that's it. And I'm looking at my 8-year-old yo, your kids are gonna starve to death if we don't fix what's going on. So we're just kind of trying to make a place for ourselves to be more reliant on ourselves. And crazy times right now with the government kind of swinging its what around. We want to kind of be able to take care of ourselves and our neighborhood, and it's been pretty awesome, honestly. It's like being in the Marine Corps. You're just working all the time outside and cleaning stuff. But
Definitely know about that.
Yeah, it's good work. I've been working in San Clemente, and we kind of just got inspired to do it here and just started growing stuff. And we got tomatoes, peppers, mint, kale. We got some trees growing apples, oranges, pomegranates. We're just kind of doing it all.
So what y'all saying is y'all are about to grow your own vegetables and sell it for quadruple what they sell it in the stores once all the soil is no longer farmable.
Yeah, we'll just be we got our little spot over here. It's working fine. We really want to make it more taking care of each other and stuff, and having a community. And I think that's something I got out of the Marine Corps is taking care of your boys, taking care of your people. And so we really want to give back. And right now I'm in training, learning how to be a permaculture design, landscape designer. And permaculture, it's permanent agriculture. It's pretty self-explanatory. But we're working on learning how to create an entire food forest that you're going to be having food in the winter, the summer, and it's going to eventually, within 5 years, it'll pretty much take care of itself. We don't even have to water it, feed it. It'll have its own system. It'll take care of itself. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I wish more people did stuff like that, but people just aren't into things like that. It's so much easier just to go to the store, go buy me a burger, or go to the store and buy some peppers, some oranges, some apples that have already been picked and they're just put there for me.
Right. They make it easy for you, and the pepper that you're buying at the store, one thing that a lot of people don't really discuss is when you pick a veggie or a fruit or something and you put it in your truck and it says it's from California and you live in Texas or something, that fruit or vegetable that you're about to eat's a dead vegetable because within 30 minutes it's lost about 90% of its nutrients. Oh. So when you grow at home, you're getting way more out of it. You're getting that fresh, all these nutrients, all this stuff that's you don't get when you get from the store, and it tastes a lot better in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. Everything's gonna taste a lot better when it's freshly picked.
Yeah.
That's like when you get orange juice and you freshly squeeze that orange juice. It's gonna taste much better than orange juice that's been sitting in a container for 3+ weeks.
But it's so good.
I see you guys. It's real great that you guys are doing that. I'm psyched to see the end result. And don't worry, when the coronavirus turns us all into zombies, I definitely will come here to like get my food.
Oh, definitely.
As long as y'all got some beans and everything.
Oh, we got it all. We got beans. To me, it's crazy. Is like just in World War II, the 40s, like 90% of the food that was eaten and consumed was homegrown.
Yeah.
And it's like we created this system of, it's super easy if you just go to the store and get this and you get that, and it's
because no one wants to slow down their life.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to slow down their life and take the time out, because what do you have now? You have cell phones, you have video games, you have TV, everything, like, and you doing that, growing your own vegetables, growing your own food, would take away from all that other time that you have to what people call relax, or their downtime, or their wind down time from their kids and stuff like that. And nobody wants to really take that time, because everyone feels like life is so short that, like, oh, I need things now and right when I need them, versus me having to wait this long time.
Yeah. It's hard too, because we've created this community, and it's this environment that we live in, and it's not anyone specifically's fault. It's just we created this generation of ease, and everything's right there for you, and that little extra effort. But honestly, it's been I was working a corporate job out in Massachusetts before we came back, and I was just like so stressed, and I didn't even realize it. And it's we don't talk about it, but when you're inside and you're in these rooms with squares and corners and stuff, like that doesn't exist out in nature. And that's why, like, whenever you go out in the forest, or you're kind of like just out on a hike or hanging out, it's like you feel so much better and relaxed, because it's like that's where we came from, that's who we are. It's like we're in this flowing native environment, and it just makes you feel at home, and it's a pretty nice way to let it out.
That's like I definitely know that feeling of being trapped, like, especially just being in the Marine Corps and now being like a staff at CO. Like, you don't go outside, you're not in the field and everything as much, and that's how I feel about riding my bike, because you're not trapped in anything. It's you and nature, like right there. You take long rides and everything. Exactly. So I definitely know about that. But tell people where you can actually like find like your website and find more about this.
So right now we just have our Facebook page. It's called the Jorde Homestead, JORD, and my wife and I are admins of it, and we're just kind of posting instructional videos of like how to use your own compost to make like a fertilizer, basically, so you don't even have to use chemicals or buy anything at the store. We're gonna put up more information about like how to start a worm bin or something. Okay. Basically, like we started composting our vegetables and fruit waste and everything, pretty much anything that's not cheese or meat or processed, and like our trash bin is like half empty. Really? Compared to like we were loading out both bins before, and now it's like we have half a bin. That's crazy. Just like all that's going to go back into the soil and into the dirt and stuff. So it's
that's definitely some shit people need to know about.
For sure.
Tearing up the equipment. Nah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's rough out here.
No, that's definitely something people need to know about. Because I'm sure it's people out there is wanting to do it, but just haven't had the chance to get it started, or don't know how to start. So after this, I'll definitely put the website on the page. I'll broadcast it on Facebook, obviously, and then have the pictures for you guys to see while we're talking in the video. I'll have the pictures and everything.
For sure. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyone can do it. We all have the capability, even if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I just have an apartment with like a little balcony. As long as you get a little sun on that balcony, like there's so many things you can do on there. And that's kind of our goal, is to really educate and share, like, I think a lot of people get turned off when it comes to environmental friendly, or like thinking about the earth or the environment, like and I think a big part of that is a lot of people approach it like, instead of telling you, hey, we're not doing the right thing, but we can do the right thing, it's more of like, you're doing the wrong thing, like you're an idiot. It's like they're shaming.
We're definitely a more we ridicule and criticize people way more than we should when it comes to like just anything that's outside the norm. You follow in your dreams or anything, like someone's always going to criticize you or something. I remember when I first asked the poll before I started the podcast. I asked the poll, like, if I started a podcast, who would listen? Like, would you listen, yes or no? And like, so many people were like, no, I wouldn't listen. And I was like, and it kind of discouraged me at the same time, because I was like, man, if no one's gonna listen, why would I even make one? But then I realized like that I had like friends that were like, that would always get in my comments or message me and be like, man, that, like, just based on my videos that I put on Instagram, and like, yeah, I don't have a big following, but my friends would be like, yo, this is great, this is like, that was funny or something like that.
Yeah.
And now that I've started doing the podcast, people message me all the time and they're like, yo, you were made for this, like this, and it makes me feel great. So even if I only got 10 followers, if I only had 10 followers and those 10 people listen every time, then that it makes it worth it. And I'm sure same with you. Like, if you get 10 people to start their own like garden and start making their own food, it's worth it, because you're gonna get 10 people, they're gonna get 10 people and everything.
Exactly.
And it just makes everything so much worth it.
Yeah, I remember like a couple of years ago reading something. I think it was like right before I got out, and it was like, if we're not liking and sharing our friends' posts, then who is?
Yeah.
You know, like we're the ones that are supposed to be sitting there, you know, like cheering them on, being the biggest fans and stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's like, I'm sure you know, like I feel like in the Marine Corps I just became such a judgy, like I was so concerned about being cool, or like, oh, that's not manly enough or whatever. And it's like, dude, if someone loves what they're doing, like, why not support them? Why not give them a shout out?
Exactly.
You know?
And like, anybody that knows me that's listened to the podcast knows, like, I've broadcast to my sister, because my sister obviously did the artwork for the podcast. I got a buddy, he has a clothing line, and as soon as the hoodie gets in, I paid for a hoodie. I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, send me a free hoodie.
Yeah.
And like, I paid for the hoodie, and I'm like, as soon as it gets here, I'll put it on, I'll wear it for the video, and I do it for all my friends, just because like I've broadcasted my cousin's podcast. Like, if you don't want to listen to my podcast, you can listen to my cousin's. Like, just because like it's just, you're paying it forward, like you're helping out someone that's helped out you, or like you're helping out someone in hopes that they'll help out someone else.
Yeah.
And it just makes the world a better place. But yeah,
Definitely.
You're right. Like, being in the Marine Corps makes you bitter, and you just hate, you like, you're so negative towards anything. Like, your friend does something, you're like, yo, that's fucking gay, or like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. No one should be thinking like that. You shouldn't be putting people down.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's good. And like I was saying before, like, we just want to give people the message that there is hope to turn things around, and you know, it's not all doom and gloom. And if we just keep a positive note about it and just share the education, and you know, you never know when someone's going to get their aha moment and be like, oh, like, I could easily do that, you know. Let me try it.
Definitely. But let's go ahead and get into these topics.
Yes.
First one.
Now what we really came for.
Yeah. The coronavirus.
Oh.
The coronavirus and 5G, because like the whole conspiracy with 5G is that 5G is what's caused people to get coronavirus, because the radiation from the radio frequency, the waves and everything, has weakened your immune system and caused you to get coronavirus, which is absolutely not true. I was offended by it because I am a radio operator.
Yeah.
So I know exactly how radio waves work. And the worst that's gonna happen is what we call the radio curse, is you're not gonna be able to have any sons. You're only gonna be able to have daughters. I have 2 daughters because I have the radio curse.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, we had the Banger curse, and it was the same thing. Like, apparently if you're stationed in Banger, you're only supposed to have daughters. Came out with a boy.
Yeah, that just means you didn't work.
But I was slacking off, that's why.
But I saw that and I thought it was crazy, because the people that are saying it obviously don't know how like the frequency wave works. There's 3G, there's 4G, there's 5G, and what these frequency waves, what these radio waves create is heat, and the heat is what actually like is harmful to people.
Mm-hmm.
But like past 5G, you have like microwaves, you have X-rays, gamma rays. Like, those are the things that actually like create the heat and can actually give you cancer and harm you.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that like 5G is nowhere near strong enough to weaken your immune system to the point that you get the coronavirus, or it created the coronavirus, and kill you.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that was connected, because I saw people, we went down to San Clemente like yesterday, and they were protesting, and I saw someone saying like, no Corona, no 5G, and I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, they're thinking that the 5G that they released for cell phones created the coronavirus.
Oh,
like so they think like, oh, if you get rid of 5G. By the way, my phone's not broadcasting in 5G anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
That's all good.
So,
yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it's going to be just as terrible as 3G was and how 4G is now. Like you're still not going to have service when you get to certain parts. Like it's going to be just as terrible.
Wasn't LTE supposed to be 5G?
Yeah,
but like not.
They're just scamming people. They're scamming people.
Oh man, see, I've heard a few origin stories about the coronavirus. So I've heard that there was, well, this is like a legitimate thing. Like right after the outbreak was starting in China, in Wuhan, there was a professor from Harvard that was arrested, and like 2 other Chinese officials. Basically, this dude was like forging paperwork for Harvard to bring Chinese officials, like their own government scientists or whatever, to become part of this like biochemistry lab course or whatever in Harvard. It's like one of the most prestigious things. And then so he was like in cahoots with China and their government, and then they had some lab in Winnipeg, Canada, in Manitoba. They had a couple Chinese officials get arrested for breaking into a lab there that was like human viral type lab. Yeah. And then like the dude in China that was working on it, apparently he was he was working on making an antidote so they could use it as a targeted, like a basically weaponized virus for the protests. So like whenever there was any protests or any kind of like anti-communist, anti-government thing in China, kill them off with the they could just go like wipe out or like hit the protesters with it, wipe them out of it, keep them quiet, and then like they'd give them the antidote or they'd spread the antidote out or whatever. But the dude apparently got the virus and died.
so he created the virus, got the virus, couldn't give himself
classic Resident Evil story or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's felt like this for anyone else, but it feels like the dawn of the zombie apocalypse.
It's getting close.
Like that's what it's feeling like. It does feel like things are starting to get better, but like I'd say like 3 weeks ago, I was like, this is how the zombie apocalypse is gonna start. Right. It started with the coronavirus. All these people are dying, and then we're gonna become like our bodies are gonna be strong enough to where we're not gonna die, but we're just gonna become zombies.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You've seen the memes, I'm sure, where it's like, man, this virus sucks. I was expecting zombies, you know, like but there's times like I was out at work like building a freaking goat pen, and I'm like, dude, like we're basically preparing for whatever zombie stuff, you know, like.
And it's crazy because like I do think people are overreacting to it a little bit because I literally wear a mask. I don't wear a mask at all. Yeah. I don't go anywhere. I went to the store today when I was coming here, and it said no mask, no service. And I just got back in my car and turned around. I was like, guess I'm not getting anything out of this store.
Dude, like we went to Lowe's just down the street, and like we both had our masks or whatever. At first we didn't have it because Cam left his in the car, and I was like, well, I'm not going to wear it if he doesn't have one. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'll just go back and get it because I noticed like pretty much everyone had it. And I heard some person freaking out. Like I could hear him whispering. It's like every time we go, either someone's freaking out because you're not wearing a mask, they're freaking out because you're not wearing the right mask, or like you're too close to them, or it's like people have all of a sudden just become so scared and like weird in public, and it's like, dude, we're chilling. Like
I think it's gonna actually hurt the economy after when it comes back. Not really the economy, but just the culture of like how people interact with each other after this. Once everything's opened back up, like. I mean, it's going to be great because I remember I was in the store and I was in Target and I was getting some, and they have the, like, now every store has the signs that are 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. And so I was there and we're on the signs, and this lady was like, hey, can you stand on the sign? And the guy's like, oh, sorry. And I was like, man, I wish I had this kind of space before the coronavirus. You know, like you get in the line and people are like breathing on your neck, like, dog, can you back up? Like, I could smell the morning breath, dog. Like, it's terrible.
Well, and it's funny too because like Americans have been known before this that we were like super like conscious about our space compared to other cultures, and like I know when Tokyo Disney or whatever, one of the new Disneys opened, everyone was complaining because like the locals were just like in your like their shoes would be between your shoes, like the person behind you. That's how close they were, and it was like uncomfortable. But it's people have taken I think a little too far, and like I just found out basically the CDC and all the numbers we've been given from the news has included any and all deaths that include pneumonia, like the flu, any like respiratory infection. Basically, any old person that has died has been considered a COVID case.
Yeah, like that's, and I was just telling someone about this. Like, if you got shot in the chest, like you're going to the hospital, and then they do the autopsy, like, oh, well, yeah, coronavirus. So they're gonna add that to the numbers, even though your cause of death is the bullet hole in your goddamn chest.
Yes, that's like Doc was telling me. One of the docs that I still talk to is like, yeah, dude, we're told to take any upper respiratory, like anything is considered a COVID case.
Which
if
is insane.
any upper body.
Which is it's crazy because it's causing widespread panic.
Yeah.
Like it's caught, like you see the numbers increasing at the 4,000s, but like somebody comes in with a sneeze and you're like, oh, he's got the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And even though I'm pretty sure like everyone's either had it or is going to get it, I'm 100% convinced. I'm pretty sure my daughter had it like a while ago. My buddy and his son, his whole family had it at one point, but they got over it.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick like 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's hard too because it's like the symptoms are basically any cold symptom, flu symptom. Like they're so similar, and it's that season. Yeah. So it's like it's so hard.
You don't know who's just got allergies or who's actually got coronavirus.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure if you go into a crowded room and cough, you could clear that room out. Like it's insane. The coronavirus, I think the coronavirus was like created, like some people think it's created by the government to kill people, thin out the population, fucking weed out the weak. I don't necessarily think that. I do think the way they're handling it is strategically done to create widespread panic. So like you can so we can reset the economy. Like I feel like that's what it's done. Because that's exactly what we're going to have to do if this continues. Because they're saying, like, nothing's going to get opened back up.
Yeah, but they're just going to give us, like, $2,400 every time this, like, every month now? Like,
yeah, they're going to have to keep paying. Because my buddy, like, they're laying off a lot of people. My buddy has a master's degree in accounting, got laid off.
I mean, both my neighbors are stressing because they're, like, lawyers of certain types of industry. And it's like, nothing's happening right now.
Yeah, that's a great... if you're in the military, stay in. Go ahead and put in that extension until everything opens back up.
Now's the chance, really get that job security.
I have a buddy, he was supposed to get out this month. Extended for 2 more months. Now he just put in a 2-year re-enlistment.
Jeez.
Because he was going to get out and join the army, but all the MEPs are closed.
Yeah. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, all the MEPs are closed. They're not taking anymore. At least in the army. The Marine Corps is just like, fuck it. Like, you can come.
Marine Corps is like, well, if it doesn't kill you, you're fit.
The Marine Corps is like, come to basic training. Like, you'll be all right.
If you don't come out with pneumonia anyways, like...
Yeah. Yeah, you get the recruit cred. There's nothing worse than recruit cred. I mean, recruits are in here breathing in each other's faces while they sleep, so... Like, it's a squad bay full of 90 kids breathing with their mouths
from different
open.
parts of the country with who knows what.
Yeah.
We had a kid, dude, straight up, our first day. Pool. Like, did you have to do the P test, like, when you first got to MCRD? Like, right as you got off the bus? Dude, we had this kid who came out of that. Like, I don't know how he made it past MEPS, but he came out and, the drill instructor and, like, this kid come out, and he's just like, what the fuck is this? It was literally black. Like, this kid pissed, like, black-green. Like, I don't know what. And the kid was just sitting there like, what's wrong? And they're all looking at him like, what is this? Did you spit in this? And he's like, no, it's my pee, sir. And they're like, this is your pee. And he's just like, yeah. Didn't know what was the problem.
I've been peeing like this all my life. What do you mean? It's not the color that pee is supposed to be?
This is a problem?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, dude? It was crazy.
I'm pretty sure being in the military has made me immune to any, like, widespread diseases outside of maybe cancer.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean...
you sleep in the same room as like 90 other people that are just disgusting human beings, and then you go to the field and you're sleeping right next to the same people that are just disgusting, haven't showered in days, weeks.
I'm pretty sure the like water standard is like barely passing to be potable.
Like, and no one's gonna pay for water in their room. You're just drinking faucet water, which is essentially toilet water that they're recycling.
Yeah, and then you go drink that out in the field too for like 3 months while being nasty.
Yeah, for not showering, touching your face, touching the water, drinking the water.
But God forbid you have a beard.
Yeah.
Or tattoos.
God forbid you do something that makes you happy. Oh God, the Marine Corps is just. It's all
I like
bad.
their the standards on the face masks. You couldn't like officially couldn't wear the like normal face mask. You had to wear like a freaking like cut up skivvy shirt or something.
Oh yeah, the skivvy shirt mask. They're still rocking. Some people are still rocking that. Like I was walking across to the parade deck. I was doing some work, and first one came. He has the skivvy shirt tied on his face, and he's like, you're not gonna have a mask. I was like, it's in my pocket first, and I just kept walking, like you look like an idiot. All the recruits are wearing like skivvy shirt sleeves on their faces, and it's all bad. Like we just did get donated a bunch of masks from Hanes.
Oh really?
It's like old skivvy shirts, old white shirts that they just cut up and made into masks. But like they're like, oh, everyone's gonna get issued one, and I'm like, okay, I'll wear it when I get it, because you have to wear it in the PX. That's the only time I wear a mask, is if I have to go get something from the PX.
I was gonna say the PX must have been popping with everyone quarantined to base.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like no one's allowed on base. Like barely any family members. If you're not working on base, like you get to the gate and they're like, oh, where do you work? And I'm like, what do you mean? You think I'm just here? I'm just
you
visiting?
think I just want to come here for fun?
No one wants to come here. I had these camis on for a reason.
Yeah, I do want to get some Ramones though on Pendleton. I've been trying to get Ramones. They won't let me. They're like, no, you gotta. Someone's gotta meet you, and I was like, yeah.
I don't know anybody.
They're in a formation. I gotta go.
Yeah. All right, moon landing and flat Earth. I don't believe in the moon landing.
You do or don't?
I don't. I believe the moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
I think it was a time where we needed to believe in something because we were just going back and forth with Russia. We just needed to believe in something, so they just created the moon landing. And then Russia was like, we're going to do the moon landing first. And America's like, no, we got to give the people something to believe in. So they brought Neil Armstrong in, and they're like, hey, guy.
Hey, devil.
Hey there. Hey there. Hey there, brother. We got this idea for you. Just hear us out. We're going to make you into an astronaut. He's probably some Joe Schmo that's just like, he's a regular guy that they're just like, they looked at him and was like, he's got the face of America. And so we're just gonna have him come in. He's gonna act out the moon landing. We're gonna give him some lines to say. One giant step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Like, come on, that was written by someone.
I mean, I could see. Yeah, that's just pretty scripted. It's hard because it's kind of like with the coronavirus. Like, a part of me really wants it to be true and like wants the craziness of it to be like factual, but then another part of me is like, really? Like, you sure about that? But I mean, it's so weird too with like how apparently we finally got to the moon and we did all that, and then like basically our space program went to boot as soon as Russia like stopped caring.
Yeah, like we were set back years after we just landed on the moon.
And now finally like Elon Musk is launching who knows what into space, like just living a dream.
Tesla's taking over NASA.
Dude, Tesla's I tried to work for them when I got out, and I talked to some people though, and they said like basically it's like you're a factory worker and they don't care unless you're like.
That's how I hear Amazon is.
Yeah,
Amazon
sounds sketch as hell.
Like I have a buddy, her friend works at Amazon. I was like, "How's that?" And you're like, "You're a slave."
Yeah, like dude, honestly, so when I got out, I did like, I don't know, a lot of people don't know about it, but it's the Microsoft Software and Systems Academy. Mm-hmm. It's offered to active duty and vets. It uses up part of your GI Bill, which kind of sucks, but you're like a student of Embry-Riddle, at least that's what I was. But it's like hosted by Microsoft, and you get basically TRS, or not like TRS, but you get like orders basically to go to the school. and it's like TRS on steroids is what I meant. But it's you go show up out in town in Oceanside in civvies, like you have to wear business casual, but it's from like 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The first half of the day is like all, for me, I learned cybersecurity. But they
that's
do
what I'm
like
in school for now.
they do like website design, they do like cloud admin. They have all their programs and stuff. But so I did that, and then the second half was all interview prep and like getting basically taught how to like manipulate job interviews. But when I was in there, basically I learned a lot about the software industry and like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, all those guys. Like, dude, those guys are like pretty lucky they're not getting sued like left and right. They basically, like, you know how they have all the nap zones and they make it like look all cool. That's so they make you like so reliable, and they offer like everything there because they want you there 24/7. Like, they don't want you to leave. Like, if you're not one of the guys that's there like putting in the hours writing code or doing your shit and then like taking a nap and going right back at it, like 14-hour day is like a small day.
Oh no.
Like, it was crazy.
Absolutely.
I was like, dude, I don't want to live this life. Like, I was in the Marine Corps. I don't need that.
Yeah, Marine Corps is 24/7.
Yeah.
They called me at 2:00 in the morning to come wait outside the goddamn armory for 3 hours.
That's
Because
basically what
the armor
cybersecurity was too. It was like, there's a virus that you need to look at, and you're like, it's 2 in the morning. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm in
Sorry.
school for cybersecurity right now, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fun stuff, dude. Like, there's some crazy stuff that you learn, and I liked what I was doing personally, but like working for the company, like just doing it as a profession, I was like, I don't see myself really doing this longer. And the people I worked for were a little, but you know, it was, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
it was a good experience, and but I knew it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Know?
That's how I am. It's just going to be something for right now because it's definitely not my passion.
It's a good moneymaker though.
Yeah, well,
Real
that's
good.
exactly why I chose it.
Yeah, buddy. It's needed. You can like, I think that's what's good too, is you could take it like beyond. If you get a job somewhere, do something, and then
It's
you get
always
the
a
ropes,
good
you
like
can do
thing
like
to
personal.
have in your pocket.
Oh yeah.
Because like the world runs on computers now. You'll never be out of a job if you have that.
Oh yeah.
Like you have like your main job, and say you get laid off during the coronavirus, you got some cybersecurity job, they're still going to be hiring.
Oh yeah.
Those dudes are essential workers.
Yeah, my stepdad's doing it. He's been working the whole time just on Zoom, just having meetings. Like, it's all online anyway, so it's a good field. Good,
Yeah.
definitely.
But it's a growing field too.
Yeah.
Like it's still getting bigger. You're still going to be learning more, and then you don't even have to do like I'm going to school for it, but you could easily just get certs for it and get the same thing out of it.
Well, I mean, once you get good enough too, you can like hack into the Pentagon and find the moon landing videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the moon landing videos, and then I'm gonna release them to the world. And before I die, because obviously Hillary Clinton's gonna have some sort of way. She's gonna find a way to kill me. She's gonna find a way to get to me.
You're gonna be Epstein?
Yeah, I'm gonna be Jeffrey Epstein. But I want y'all to know that I did not kill myself.
Yeah,
I'm letting y'all know
doing
here.
good.
I'm letting y'all know.
Verify.
Years from now, I will still not kill myself. But also, like with the moon landing, because I think the moon landing is fake. With flat Earth, I don't believe in either side too much. Okay. Only because I don't believe anyone's ever seen the Earth, because I don't think we've ever been in outer space.
What? Not even outside of the edge? Because we've had like pilots go out there.
I don't believe it.
No?
I don't believe it at all.
What do you think's out there?
Like I don't believe like that we've ever been in outer space.
No?
Like I believe it's all fake. Like I believe people have flown up there, but like I feel like no one's ever been outside and like flown around like
to
verify that it's flat. Like, oh, you go outside to where you can see the ground, and it's like, oh, we're gonna come back, but you're only seeing one side of it.
Yeah.
And like, who knows? That could look flat. It could look flat. It could look round, but we don't know for sure. I just 100 like I can't 100% say that I believe that like the Earth is round or it's flat.
Leave this to the scientists.
Like the flat Earth thing, like like the way they have it, it's like it's a circle, so that's why everyone sees it like that. But it's flat on the other side. But for me, the only reason I would say the flat Earth's like what's like how do you know like
Yeah,
what's underneath us?
that's a yeah. I don't. To me, like the flat Earth stuff, just I've taken flights over. Like I went from Seattle to Denmark, and we flew over Canada, and like if the flat Earth thing was true, like that would make zero sense.
Yeah.
But like it's I don't know.
So the way they have it is like it's like a pizza, and everything's like that, and it goes in a circle.
Didn't they use like the NATO logo as like their evidence?
Yeah,
That even
like
NATO knows that it's a flat or something.
I don't know. It's crazy. Like that's the only reason why it makes no sense. Is like it defies logic. But like I'm not 100% that it's a sphere either. Like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not 100% that it's that. But flat, that's debatable. Like I think people just say flat Earth just to get a rise. Like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, we're bored. We're gonna tell some homeless dude about flat Earth. He's gonna say it to someone. It's gonna make sense, and like people are just like
Gonna eat it
and
up.
people are gonna run with it because that's something that's gonna get views on social media and everything. You say flat Earth, and people are gonna start listening.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you can get like celebrities to talk about flat Earth. You get a celebrity like you get like Beyonce and her delirious fans to talk about flat Earth. She could literally make half the planet think that the Earth is flat because she has a bunch of delirious fans that think everything she says is gold, and it's insane.
Well, let's like speaking of celebrities though, and like bringing it back to the coronavirus. I think we like basically got so involved and sucked into the virus because the celebrities did. Like,
oh yeah.
Basically, I don't think anyone would be home right now if celebrities were like, no, screw you, government. That's not right. Like, all the celebrities and everyone was just like, okay, yep.
Because they're getting
says
paid
to stay
to
home. Okay.
I made a video about this on Instagram. I was so tired of DJ Khaled telling me that I was being selfish for leaving my house. And I'm like, first off, you piece of shit. I don't have the money to stay at home.
No.
I don't have the money to like not go get like I don't have someone that can just bring me food. I don't have entertainment at home. Like it drives me crazy being like at home so much.
Not all of us can order DoorDash every night.
Yeah, like
sorry.
We have to go out and go to stores and get food and wait in lines, and we still have to go to work.
Yeah.
Not all of us can just not work and not provide for our families and stuff. So
yeah, no, it's been hard too, and like again, it's just like, you know, all of a sudden the celebrities got online and were like, you know, making all these campaigns and doing these concerts and like making it sound so dramatic that they were home, and I'm sitting here like, dude, I know these kids that have like Camden's best friend is in Long Beach, has 6 siblings living in a like 3-bedroom apartment in Long Beach. Like they're not having a fun time, you know, like it's not good for them, but
yeah,
like
they guilt trip us.
Yeah. Like they're trying to have some peace and quiet and get out and like, you know, try to not lose their sanity but yeah, we're selfish because we don't have a mansion.
No,
sorry.
You know who was selfish? Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, that guy.
When he killed himself.
Just taking himself out, you know, for no reason.
I think people misunderstand the fact that no one is upset that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. No one is upset.
No one's sad about it.
Like, no one's like, oh man, it's a tragedy. Everyone feels like, okay, he got what he deserved. But we wish he would have waited at least a month so that, you know, he could unleash all these names that he apparently had on all these people, especially like Donald Trump, who Donald Trump deflected and said it was the Clintons, and they were just back and forth. But
dude, politics is crazy these days. Like, it's so hard for me. I have to turn the news. Like, I get like my glimpse every once in a while when I look at Twitter or Facebook real quick, but like my stepdad will sit there with the news on all day. I'm like, dude, you're like just driving yourself crazy.
I absolutely do not watch the news at all.
No, it's you can't. It's like
I don't believe it. They steer you where they want you to think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like the whole Jeffrey. I don't care. I cared more about Aaron Hernandez killing himself, which I don't think Aaron Hernandez killed himself.
Yeah.
But like, I cared more about that than I cared about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, was he gonna release a tape that says Donald Trump was sex trafficking? it wouldn't surprise me.
No.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Not the slightest. Especially the way, yeah, no.
Yeah, like it's like if you told me like it would surprise me if I saw like Barack Obama on this list. And it's not because he's black; it's just because you would like Donald
Just
Trump's
character.
His character.
Yeah,
like, I want to see people.
the person that he is.
Like if you're gonna release the list, I want, and then and what made it so like shady to me was that the woman they interviewed like one of the main women, and she was like, "Oh, there were so many people that were doing heinous things that I can't even talk about." I'm like, we need you to talk about it. What do you mean you can't talk about it?
Yeah, this isn't like a choice right now.
Like we need you to like you're trying to and that's why I think it was all staged and it was fake because they're like, oh well, I don't want this to happen to anyone else, but then you won't tell us who was there because those people are gonna just do it all over again.
Oh man, yeah, it's been, dude. Did you watch Tiger King at all?
I watched bits and pieces of Tiger King. My wife watched Tiger King, and I was doing homework in the background listening.
Dude, that stuff, like, at that level of how crazy that was, like, multiply that by, like, 1,000 for what the government does. Like, I've been watching some pretty crazy stuff on Netflix, like...
That's just like the whole, the government coming out and saying, oh yeah, UFOs are real.
Dude, right? Like, hey... Look at these gladiators over here, like UFOs, you know, like, nice try, we've learned that lesson.
They're like, oh, coronavirus? Scaring everybody? Let's push them out something. UFOs, guys. Don't forget about UFOs. Like, I believe in extraterrestrials.
Oh, like, how can you not?
I believe that, like, there's, like, they created all these, like, we have all these planets that they say that there's all these planets out there. I don't really believe them. But if there's all these planets, there can't just be life on this one.
No.
There's absolutely not. Do I think there is an advanced, like a race, like way more advanced than us, that they could just fly from planet to planet? I'm not sure I believe that, but I do believe that they create things for people to talk about and distract people. Like they create UFOs, they create Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster. I think all those are like created.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You would think in 2020.
We'd be able to figure this out with
like
all the
in 2020, you don't think they could find
and...
the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Like, and every picture is blurry. Not
I want to
one
be a
clear
squatcher
photo.
Though. It's fun. It's fun to like go down that rabbit hole. And
it's
be like,
great to watch documentaries on it, but like in all these years, not one person got a clear picture.
No, that's I don't like, bro. Y'all can like.
There's pictures of like
entire video of someone like getting arrested and shot by the cops, but you can't find out like a clean picture of Bigfoot. Like
not even that. Like there's video. Like you've seen videos of like videos and pictures during World Wars, like World War I and World War II, and they're like amazing quality. But you telling me you can't catch this like 8-foot monster walking through the woods in the middle of the day? You just catch like a shadow of him? There's no way.
Dude, like the colorized pictures from World War II that they've been showing, like you can see the dude's like face and texture it, but yeah, we can't get Bigfoot.
Yeah, we can't get Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. We just, I will say, one day I was at the by the water by my house, but in the bay by my house in Liberty Station, San Diego, and I was walking down this trail and I see something in the water, like sticking its head out of the water, and it's just swimming along. And I was like, that's clearly not a fish or a person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not a shark or anything. I'm like, what? And it's not making any noise. It's just going along the water. Its head is out, but it's dark, so you can't see what it is.
Yeah.
And then it just dips its head under, and it just goes away. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And the first thing I thought was like, it's the Loch Ness Monster.
Nice.
But I was like, obviously, my mind is just wandering. It was probably just a damn seal.
Do you have any personal encounters with like aliens or ghosts or anything like that?
No.
No?
I don't believe in ghosts.
No?
I don't believe in
Dude,
ghosts.
can I tell you the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was stationed in Bangor, there was like all sorts of lore because apparently the base is like an old Indian burial ground, and you know they basically stole it from the natives, all that stuff, all that fun U.S. military stuff. So there's the area that like we patrol, and then next to it there's this other area that like we're the security forces of the base, and we can't go to this area. So like, you know, there's all the stories about what it is or whatever. And one time a buddy claimed like he to this day will say like he heard like a firefight going off in the woods or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, Underwood, like, whatever. So,
yeah, you're fucking crazy.
He took us up, and basically there's this sign that says, do not enter. And he took us up there, and he was, like, explaining, like, yeah, I heard this firefight over here, whatever, all this stuff. And, like, we were chilling there for a while. And then I get in the car, the vehicle, I was the driver, and I, like, back it up. And, like, as we're backing up, all of a sudden, right where we were on the other side of the fence, headlights turn on. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, who's this person? And they drive off. And we're like, what the heck? Like, they went up their road up there on their side of the fence. So later on, I, like, go take my team again. Like, it was a different group of guys. And I take them up there. And, like, when this happened, we heard a bunch of crazy coyotes or whatever. And so I was telling them the story. And we're, like, having a good laugh. And, you know, as Marines do, we started convincing one of our junior Marines to start calling out the demons and everything, because he's like, oh, you know, I don't believe in that crap. And so he's in the turret, just like in the middle of the forest in Washington, just yelling, fuck you demons, fuck you skinwalkers, you're not shit, like, we don't believe in you, and all this crap. And like, we're like, all right, dude, like, he kept going, we're like, all right, calm down. And we're like, look up, and he's not in the turret. And we're like, what the hell? And then we hear banging, and he's on the sign banging, like, fuck you. And we're like, yo, get back here. And so he gets in the turret, and we're like chilling for a couple more minutes. And finally, my buddy, he's super Catholic, and he's like, bro, I don't like this, we need to leave right now. Yeah. Like, I don't have a good feeling. I was like, you sure? Like, you good? He's like, just drive. And so we're in the armored vehicle. I'm the driver, my buddy's in the passenger seat. And then there's, like, the turret seat next to it. And then my guy's all the way up behind my seat. Like, his arm's basically, like, on my chair.
Yeah.
And all the way in the back door, like, it's an armored locked door.
Yeah.
So I back up to do a 3-point turn. I get to where I back up. I stop. Come to a complete stop. As I'm shifting it into drive, the back door opens. And, like, everyone's in the front of the vehicle. So, like, all of a sudden just moonlight comes in the back, and I'm like, what? And my buddies in the back are both just like, drive! Like, freaking out. So I drive forward, and of course the building that I drive towards, the building number is literally 0666.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's like, not this building. And I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. So I turn back and I go, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, there's no one here. Like, we thought, like, the freaking OD snuck up on us or something, because we were, like, chilling. And we're like, dude, like, what the heck? There's no one here. So we drive down, and we're kind of, like, freaked out. My buddy's like, go to the, you know, the main building. I'm like, no, we got to go to the pier. There's way more lights there. So basically you go down this hill, and then you turn left, and it's a straight road. And, like, you know, armored vehicle, that door's, like, a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So, I'm driving down the straight part of the road, and all of a sudden my team leader's door, like, the combat lock clicks. And he's like, oh, hell no. So he's leaning over into my side, and then all of a sudden his door just flings open and stays open. Like, stucks. Like, even if you would to throw it and you weren't driving, it would go out and bounce back. That's how heavy it is. This thing went open and stuck while I'm driving, like, 35 miles per hour straight. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, freaking out. So finally I get to the pier, and, like, some boots on radio watch at his, like, outpost, and I'm like, come look at my vehicle. And he's like, what? I'm like, just look at it. So he comes out and he looks. He's like, yeah, there's nothing there. And then we go to another post, and I'm like looking at the window. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go out and I come around to my team leader's door, and I open it. And on the window, like, on the inside, there's these two handprints, and they're like this big from the finger to the bottom of the hand. They were this big, and there was 3 fingers and a thumb, and that was it. Like, there was no, like, it was like this tiny 3-finger and a thumb handprint, both of them on there. And, like, we showed everybody, like, dude, we are not making this up.
Hell no.
Like, and basically our story was like, the guy, whatever it was, opened the door and was like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And then, like, we got to the hill, and he was like, and stay the fuck out, and, like, got out. Well, months go by. We're not on the same team, like, ever again, the 5 of us. Like, never. Finally, like, months later, we were doing some move operations, and basically, like, I was a driver for one of my vehicles, and they're like, all right, all the drivers need to swap out. You guys have been out here too long. You're going to crash. So we switched drivers out, and all of us got to go in one vehicle and drive out. It was 4 of the 5 of us were in the same vehicle again. And I kid you not, we're driving back home, and I'm in the back of the Humvee, and my fucking door just goes, boom, like right as we get to the intersection where we were messing around. And I was like, nope, I'm done, dude. Like, dude, that was the craziest moment of my life. Like,
I would have literally gotten out of the vehicle and run all the way back to my house. Like, there's no way I would have stayed in that vehicle.
Dude, it was crazy. We were like, oh man, I still to this day like get chills thinking about it.
Like, I don't believe in the supernatural. Like, I don't believe in like ghosts and all that shit. But like, that would have freaked me out.
Yeah, no,
like, that would have freaked me out. I would have 100% ran for the hills and never stopped running. Like, y'all would have never found me again. I would have been gone.
Oh man.
I mean, the weirdest thing I've experienced is I've been to Area 51. Like we did a field out there when I was in Lad, so we drove all the way out there. By the way, we stopped at a brothel, and it was an amazing time. We didn't have sex with anyone, don't worry. But we got to meet all the ladies, and they were cool. But we weren't allowed any electronics. Like, even if you had like an e-reader, like even like the one, like not even the electronic one, you weren't allowed to bring it on base.
Nothing at all.
Chow Hall's amazing there, by the way.
Ugh.
And it was snowing when we got there, because we got there late February. We left mid-March or like late March or something like that.
Okay.
And so by the time we get there, or by the time we leave, all the snow is gone except for this one area, this big ass field. Like, the snow never melted. Like, it's like as soon as you come on base, you look to your left, there's like this big ass field, and the snow never melted the entire time.
What the heck?
And I was like, that's where they're keeping the UFOs. Like, it's underneath their underground layer is right there.
There's some frozen shit over there.
And then you would see, like, you'd go out, because we could go all kinds of places, like, because it's really not that big a base. Like, it's way more trading area than it is anything. And you'll see like an outhouse with like 4 or 5 cars around it.
Like,
and there's no building in sight. Like, you'd see like that, and I'm like, okay, they're obviously getting in there. They're going underground. Like,
there's an elevator.
But that was the weirdest thing. You weren't allowed to take anything off the base. So I mean, everything else was like HF comm didn't fucking work there. But we got to chase cows and Humvees, so that was pretty cool. And that was the first time I was ever in a snowstorm.
Did you guys get to go down to Vegas at all?
No, we went to Nellis Air Force Base, and that was and we didn't get to drink the entire time we were there, but we went to Nellis Air Force Base, and we got in trouble. Yeah, we got in trouble. Our CO had to get taken to the ER.
Oh no!
Yeah, like it was a bad time. It was a bad time. It was a great time, but it was a bad time.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
No, definitely. Oh, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Yeah, we still haven't got to this whole dinosaur.
I don't believe dinosaurs ever existed. I don't. Like, I refuse. There's no one that can convince me.
What are the fossils?
I believe, like, all that shit was planted. Like, it's 100... I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I feel like this is something the government came up with to produce revenue, like an everlasting revenue. Because think of how much money you can get just from museum visits for kids, museums just being open in general. Young boys love dinosaurs.
That is weird. Like, why are we so triggered by dinosaurs?
Like people, because they're mystical creatures. Like, you can't sit here and believe that anything. It's hard for you to grasp the fact that anything like that ever existed. Anything that big, that like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
This thing, that giant thing, can just eat me in like a second.
Yeah. My thing was, how is it that like the only thing close to that now is a Komodo dragon? That's the closest thing to a dinosaur. And then you have like the woolly mammoth elephants. But I just feel like it's too inconsistent. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff was planted. Like, maybe there were some dinosaurs that existed, but definitely you could never get me to believe that as many dinosaurs as they've come out with, and how they're still coming out with new dinosaurs every year, there's no way you can convince me that all these dinosaurs existed. They were making a lot of these up.
Yeah, I could see, like, you could definitely play, like, mix and match with the fossils that we do find.
And you just, and think about it, because you create a new dinosaur, you can introduce a new dinosaur in a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna go see it because
And they're like, oh, yeah.
if you watch the new Jurassic Park movies, the Tyrannosaurus Rex is no longer the apex predator.
Yeah, they like are inventing.
They're like inventing
GMOing dinosaurs.
Or even in, was it Jurassic Park 3? Like they came out with the Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never even heard of this thing.
Yeah, they just like, oh,
They
yeah,
just-
we figured it out.
They just keep coming out with new dinosaurs, and you can keep creating movies and stuff like that, and marketing cartoons and everything.
Yeah.
It's an everlasting revenue that will keep coming in no matter what.
I at least have to give Jurassic Park credit though that they like kept their original design of the dinosaurs, because like I know a lot of people were freaking out like, oh, that's not what science says they look like now. But you know,
How
like,
can you tell someone what science said something like
right?
that? Like you just like you look at like a skeleton, right? And it just gives you a base model of what it was. Just like a human, you can look at any human skeleton. You can't tell if it was black, white, like if it was fat, skinny. They all look the same.
Exactly.
So like dinosaurs, like that's why I say like it's hard for me to believe that all these dinosaurs existed. Like you're literally just putting it through a simulation based on some algorithm that that a man created. So it's gonna go in your favor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't believe. I don't believe in dinosaurs. There's a lot of things that I don't believe in.
He's definitely questioning the world.
I question everything. There's nothing on this planet that I don't question. Like I don't like what's a platypus? Like who thought of this? Like the government created platypuses.
The government's out there.
They created, like I feel like a lot of stuff is created. Like I feel a lot of stuff is like there's no way God was sitting there and he was like platypus. That's what we're gonna like. Well, obviously he didn't name it, but like he was like, we're gonna make a beaver with a duck bill, yeah, and an otter's tail, or a beaver's tail. Like no. I don't believe.
Well, it's like I don't know. It's hard for me too, is how much the government knows that we don't know.
Yeah,
that's like the stuff that keeps me up at night. You know, like especially like when you get a little more education and you learn about these things, or they finally like declassify stuff, and you're just like, holy shit, dude! Like we did some nasty stuff back in our day, and like,
oh, definitely.
We're just like taught this one stream of thought, you know, like winners write the history books kind of thing, and it's like it's just so much of it is lost.
I don't think anything happens without the government knowing, either knowing ahead of time or knowing a way of preventing it.
Well, did you see what they're doing for the coronavirus?
What?
Apple and Google are on board, which basically is every phone invented. Yeah. But they're trying to develop an app that will be part of your base, like OS, your operating system of your phone, and it will alert the government of every interaction you have. So it will use your GPS to tell you who you've been next to. It'll tell you, like, they'll tell your phone calls, your messages, basically everything to track the coronavirus. And they already wrote it into the Constitution in Australia that you will have to allow it.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Because once I saw the movie Eagle Eye, it was over.
No, dude.
My conspiracy radar was off the charts. Once I saw Eagle Eye, I was like, okay, this is what the government's doing. Like every time I'm watching TV, like I never have my location on. I never have like my GPS on unless I need to go somewhere. I always turn it off. I don't like I don't really like having a camera on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I generally want to just like tape up my camera on my phone whenever I'm not using it, just because I know the government is watching me through this phone.
It's a possibility, especially
they are watching me masturbate to midget porn, and
they're getting bad angles though.
It's definitely like they're watching my sweaty face. They're watching my sweaty face, look at my phone, and hyperventilating as I'm watching this despicable video on my phone. And they're
sitting there like, ugh.
They're watching the regret on my face afterwards. They're watching the shame, all the self-dignity leave my body all at once. That's the craziest thing to me.
What did I do?
Like you're sitting there, and you're just like, oh, I'm better than this. What have I become? What would my mom think of me?
If my mom saw this, man.
Oh, this is, you get into, fellas, we watch some raunchy things. it's despicable. Like,
I don't think anyone, like, I feel like it's a rite of passage as a male to have some random buddy when you're growing up as like a teenager just be like, hey dude, check this out, and they just throw on some weird shit.
Crazy
like,
thing, like,
what?
When I was in high school, my buddy Amir, and I'm gonna talk to him tonight about this. He showed me the Two Dudes One Horse.
Oh no!
And he's like, yo, I got this funny video for you. And it comes on and it's this NVG camera, and it's just, I'm like, oh, there's a horse there. What's about to happen? And then two dudes come and it's just going at it. And then I find out later that dude died, and I was like, oh, good for him. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that dude for that video dies from internal bleeding.
Oh God.
And he's like too embarrassed to go to the hospital.
Dude, like, I was talking about this with someone the other day, and like, we got indoctrinated into the internet. Like, our generation, like,
the internet was
nowadays, like, people like get blocked on Facebook for posting like a slightly controversial like Hitler meme, and like, dude, we grew up with E-Bombs World, we grew up with like Two Girls One Cup, like,
oh my God,
just the crazy nonsense that was like just thrown at, like, it was like I said, like, you just go over to your buddy's house, be like, yo dude, did you check out this video yet? And it's like some dude like snapping his arm off. You're like, what?
Yeah, and then like the things that kids use the internet for now, like when cyberbullying wasn't a thing, you know what I was trying to do on the internet? I was trying to watch porn. Like, that's all the internet was good for me. Like, oh, I got a paper due, I'll do that at school. No. Home internet, strictly for porn.
I'm pretty sure like I like destroyed my parents' first computer because of LimeWire.
Oh, LimeWire.
And they like took it to a computer guy, and the guy's like,
yeah, you got like 70,000 viruses.
You should talk to your son about this.
You got like 1 million viruses on this computer. LimeWire, like, you literally risked your entire computer just trying to download videos.
How many times did you get like some song and it was like the name of the song .mp3, and then it was just like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And you're like, God damn it, not this again.
Like, oh man, like, those were good times. Now that's like, I do think like have you ever seen the memes about the guy typing on like Pornhub, and it's like the FBI agent outside, and he's like looking back, he types in some obscure porn, and the FBI agent like looks back like, what's like? I feel like they're doing that. Like, I feel like my FBI agent is just like, dude, this dude's wild.
Did you see the meme where it's like, it's a picture of a text conversation, and the guy says like, or the girl says, what are you thinking about? And he says like being inside of you or something, but then like he wrote sorry, I autocorrected, I meant this, but it says do not send, and then it says like FBI agent, like, I got you, fam, and the girl responds like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I feel like my FBI agent is like, yo, this dude doesn't do anything but sports and porn. Like,
dude, I'm surprised, like, because we have every helicopter that flies north comes over our house. I call it the airport highway. But like, every time we'll get like 2 ospreys coming over the house, I'm like, oh, they've caught my Facebook again. Like,
there they are. Today's the day they raid the house.
Yep.
Like, especially when I used to stream, like, I used to like download movies all the time. I'm like, one of these days, like, they're just gonna bust through the door. Which I was always like leery of. It's just like, why does the government care about me streaming movies? There are like Tupac's murderers still on the loose, right? And they're worried about me illegally downloading Pirates of the Caribbean.
They're trying to tell me one dude like shot 5,000 rounds into Vegas or whatever it was, but like, yeah, we're concerned about streaming videos.
You know how I found out about the Vegas shooting? I was waking up in the morning, and I have like the newer Samsungs, and it tells you, like, it gives you like an update when the alarm goes off. And I just remember being like half asleep, and all I heard was 500 dead, and I was like, God damn, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, dude.
I like woke up out of my sleep, like checking my phone. I was like, oh, 500 injured.
Yeah, I was freaking out too, because like, you know, basically the entire Marine Corps goes to country festivals. Like, yeah. So I was like, oh great, like probably half my buddies are there. Luckily no one was, but like, dude, that's one of those conspiracies. Like, I'll go deep down that rabbit hole. Like, there's no way that one dude brought 60 guns up to his hotel room with no one noticing, and just was like laying down rounds for that long, that much by himself. Like,
oh yeah, because he
I'm
like
sorry.
went ham.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I've heard it was like an arms deal or like something, like the government was trying to get on it, and basically like they were trying to do like a sting, and the dudes found out, so they fucking shot that guy and then like blasted the area and then fled.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I've heard, if you look, like, people have gone deep in this, but like, you know, obviously be careful where you get your sources, because some people get stupid, but like, some of the projectiles and like the ballistics of the report, like, shots came from MGM and like some other casino, and the casino he was in, basically they're all owned by MGM.
Yeah.
And
so MGM was in on it. That's what
and the owner was like basically co-signed. Someone high up was like on this patent for basically like sensorless X-ray scanning. Basically, like, they can put these things on the door of every like entrance into the casino, and it's an immediate X-ray scan. And like in their security center, every person walks in, they can see like if you have a gun, if you don't have, like, you get X-rayed without, like, basically without your consent.
Yeah.
And basically the shooting happened, and then all of a sudden they like announced this new technology that they're working on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, really? And the shooters all came from your casinos? Weird. So that's ones I've heard.
So that was his reasoning behind getting those X-rays put in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it just feeds into like money breeds is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Because money will force you to do things, and it's literally like the plot for every movie. Like every like mass shooting or mass disease movie, it's like, I need to show them that this is real and that things like this can happen. So
right.
like the bad guy just creates like this mass panic, this mass pandemic.
Like, and then, every Bond movie is about like breaking the bank system.
Yeah, it's like like it's always like a guy trying to like, he's like, it's like Thanos. So he's like, I'm gonna kill half the planet to let you, so that y'all can prosper more and I'll be the martyr for this. Like that's essentially what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound too far fetched because I don't trust the government. Like, I feel like they will do anything because right now, like, what's the biggest thing? Gun control is like a super big thing. Mm-hmm. And then you create, every mass shooting continues the conversation.
Yep.
But you know what's not continuing right now? Mass shootings. You know why? Because the coronavirus.
Yeah. Except for Canada.
Yeah.
God bless everybody out there. But, like, it's, gun control, elections are coming up. We have
Donald Trump's going to be your president for another 4 years. I hope you're ready. Like, it's inevitable. Y'all picked the wrong candidates. Joe Biden and
I say this every time. The Democrats don't learn. Like, I'm not really a Republican or Democrat. Like, I used to lean more towards Republican, but like now I'm basically on the fence. Like, I'm like, I don't agree with either of you. You're both dumb. But like, they sit here and they freaked out because they lost to Trump, and the whole time they've just been trying to smear him rather than just like, okay, how do we like get this going?
We took a loss,
and then they had like 50 candidates run, and I'm like,
we took a loss.
Just split your party.
How are we gonna instead of saying how are we gonna move on from this, they're like, how can we destroy him? Like, no, they spent so much time trying to impeach him, which we all knew wasn't gonna happen.
Nah.
And the moment that they said impeach, we all knew that like he's gonna get reelected again.
Pretty much, they signed the death warrant.
And then when they put Bernie Sanders back up there, and then they put Joe Biden, it was like, and their whole thing behind Joe Biden was, he was the vice president under Barack Obama, and everyone loved Barack Obama. Yeah, but that's like saying, oh, like that's like the Chicago Bulls. Like, yeah, they had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but yeah, Scottie Pippen played under Michael Jordan. It should be the same thing. No, Scottie wasn't as good.
Yeah, Jordan was the greatest.
Yeah, Jordan was the greatest of all time.
Don't at me.
Yeah. All you LeBron fans. But I think that's all the time we got for today.
For sure.
This was a great conversation. Great seeing you again, brother.
Great.
We're going to have to do this again. I can definitely have you on again, especially since you live right down the road. But
we're always around.
All of you, go check out Jorde Homestead, my buddy's website on Facebook. I'm going to drop the link in the bio. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. Share with all your friends.
Do it.
I'll see you next week.
Let's go.